So I'll switch the settings to be public.
Okay, cool. I have this.
Good if I do that now, or
Yeah, I'll just leave it on this.
Wait, I don't know if it's. Is it okay if I do it on
that's perfect.
And then
Change this.
And you're coming this afternoon?
Yes.
We're all set for
I would shake.
You can hear like people talking.
no, I'm not hearing them.
I can hear you, but I can't hear you.
Yeah. One second, because audio should be going through here. We gotta make sure the audio is going through here, so it picks up all of it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Hear you, but not through here.
Let me go ahead and make that public now.
No. Not yet. One second. I can hear you over there. I can't hear you through here. So I hear the echo. Like I hear the room, but I can't hear you through.
Through the camera?
Yeah, through the camera. Audio input. So then audio output.
We can try saying internal again.
Okay. No, that's crazy.
Because you still hear them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I guess login I think so the audio. If you can hear it, it says you can't hear it.
He's working on it.
So he's trying to get the audio out there, and then I'll make this public. Okay.
They're not certain.
They're not starting to let us. No, it's 10:30.
30? Let's hold it. I'm not sure.
I think it was supposed to be 10:30.
We started. We started at 10:30. It's getting close, isn't it? We're starting at 10:30.
10:30. Should be barely.
Yeah. I just gotta grab. Now we need.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, X, Y, Z. 1, 2. That's 1, 2. That's 1, 2, 1, 2, test 1, 2.
Stanley, for this, the 118th Milrose Games. Without further ado, allow me to introduce one of the two co-presidents of the Army Foundation, who for the past year, as soon as last year's event was over, they started diligently to work on this. It's a huge task, it takes a big family of people at the Army Foundation, but we are ably led by our two co-presidents. And first up is Jonathan Schindel.
Thank you, Ian. So thrilled everybody came out on this warm, balmy day in New York. First, I want to thank Morgan Stanley for providing this beautiful space and its support for the Milrose Games. It's great to have the press conference here. We are so fortunate to have the support of World Athletics, USA Track and Field, Nike, and so many other great sponsors that make this event and our whole season possible. So I want to thank them. As many of you know, we sold our last ticket 3 weeks ago. This is the earliest sellout we've ever had at the Milrose Games at the Armory. So much of that is due to these amazing athletes. So much of that is due to our meet director, Ray Flynn, and his tremendous staff. I want to thank you because you are really bringing the excitement back to the Milrose Games, back to New York City, which is a wonderful thing, so thank you. One of the great things about having everybody, the greatest athletes in the world, come to the Milrose Games is you're in New York City, which is the brightest lights in the media capital of the world. And we are doing our very best to provide you that stage to shine on and to make this the greatest of all indoor track meets. We're gonna have 5,000 plus people, making it as loud as it can be at the Armory. We're gonna be on NBC and simulcast and telecast in 255 countries and territories around the world. So I wanna thank you for making the journey and thank you for making the Milrose Games so special. Ian?
Starts. And every year when I see the young athletes that are assembled for the fastest kid in the world race, it used to be fastest kid in New York, and then Dermot McDermott, our friend from Ireland, started to bring these lovely young children to us who come and compete heartily every year. So this is Emma Wynn. Will she win? Great name. And Irlith Long. Please tell everybody where you're from.
Sligo.
And what country is that in?
Ireland.
Okay. Well, as you can see, they're very fast, but they're shy. So thank you, everybody, and thank you for being here. We're delighted to have each and every one of you in this room and the 5,000 people that Jonathan was speaking about who will join us for the Milrose Games on Sunday. Enjoy your time. Best of luck to each and every one of you, and thank you again.
I had the pleasure for many years of working under the direction of Howard Schmertz, the late meet director of the Milrose Games, who was truly a wonderful gentleman to work with and always very appreciative of everybody's contribution to the Milrose Games. He was a very tough act to follow, but believe you me, we have the perfect person for that. This, I believe, is your 13th year, Ray. Without further ado, your meet director, Ray Flynn.
Jonathan and Rita. A huge welcome to all our Olympic medalists, world champions, world medalists, and world record holders to the 118th Milrose Games. We're delighted to have you here. Milrose Games is the oldest and most renowned meet indoors in the world at 118 years. And we know that you have many races, many competitions that you compete in throughout the year. But Millrose is that some events are just that little bit more special, and being a champion at Millrose, I think, counts for something, and it's a special meet to win, and we're delighted to have you here for this. 118 years is a lot of years to be in existence, and we've had many of the greatest athletes in the history of our sport compete over the years and set records just like you at Millrose Games. Our legacy, our history, our tradition are what matter to the Milrose Games, and I know that you're going to make it even better when you compete this Sunday, and wish you the very best of luck. So thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Ray, and your team. Ray's got an extensive team as well. So now let me invite the group one to come up. That's Josh, Donovan, just come up. Grant and Cole. They choose their partners. Interesting, isn't it, always? Let me open up with you, Donovan. 2 years ago, I was at the Nike Outdoor National High School meet, and I had the ability to leave the set to go down to the infield and chat with you. And you looked at me and you said, Ian, the one thing I want to do coming back, because then he was hurt, is to compete at the Milrose Games.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that and why this meet is so important to you? And I know you come in as a previous champion at this meet.
Yeah, so back when I said that, that was when I was like kind of in the deepest hole of my injuries. And I think when you're in that kind of place, you kind of reflect on like where you were most happiest, or like where you kind of felt you fulfilled your career at, you know, like kind of in hindsight. And I always looked back at Milrose Games for some reason. I don't know why that was. I think it has a mixture of just the big city, the awesome crowd, and just the electrifying atmosphere that it has. But I've always loved coming to Milrose Games. I've always loved to compete. It's always a great field that you guys put together. And I think this was one of the most meets that I missed when I was hurt, was coming back to Milrose Games. Because indoors, outdoors, both of them, I think this is one of my favorite meets that there is.
Mission accomplished. Are you ready this year?
Yeah, more ready than I was last year, so we're good.
Let me go to Grant. Grant, last year you gave us one of the defining races in the history of the Milrose Games when you outkicked this gentleman to my other side here, Cole. One of the things I remember about that, when we sat at the press conference, though, was you said you were going to hurt him in the race. Can we expect more of that this year?
You know,
Watch his face.
As a longer distance runner, yeah, I want this race to be quick. The more I turn it into a sit and kick, the lower my odds get. So, you know, being a 5K, 10K guy, soon to be a half marathon guy, yeah, I want it to be fast. And you know, this field is such high quality. People have talked about how many people are in it. That you know, I think there's 14 guys in the field. All 14 would be headliners at any other meet. And so you got a lot of guys that can mix it up, and you just get this snowballing effect where the race goes quick and it turns into a battle.
I have to think that when Cole made that move last year, though, when he went early, what was going through your mind at that moment in time?
I was actually pretty happy that he made the move because it meant I didn't have to lead anymore for a little bit. The past few times I've raced at Millrose have been 2 miles and 3Ks, and often I'm the one taking the pace on after the routed, so it was nice to get a little bit of help and be able to switch your brain off for a little bit and load up for a kick. You know, I think everyone's tactics are always developing, and I'd be surprised if anyone tried the exact same tactics year after year, but you got to be ready for everything.
All right. Okay, I'm going to straight to you then, Cole. As I was saying, you surprised myself and everyone in the building last year by going with 2 laps to go. What's your thoughts this year as you approach it? That you'll tell us.
Yeah. I think last year part of it was kind of to test myself more than anything. It was, you know, really my debut last year, and this is more or less my real debut this year. And coming off being the Olympic champion, I, in my mind, had no reason why I couldn't push the pace, why I couldn't, you know, dictate, you know, how I wanted to run the race. And, you know, obviously I didn't win, but stepping away from that race, I was extremely happy with how I ran it. And then this year I feel pretty much the exact same, if not more confident, just based off of, you know, last year I was 1500 meter champion, but 2 years ago, but now coming off of the 5K world title, kind of people hoping to take the strength out of the kick out of my legs. It's getting less and less possible as I continue to be stronger and stronger and can just, you know, kick in a sub-13 race like I did in Tokyo.
Does being an Olympic champion and a world champion give extra pressure to your mind, or can you just separate that and focus on the next race?
I think there's always pressure. There's always been pressure. I've been feeling this similar pressure, honestly. It sounds funny, but since like middle school, just like I hold myself to how good I think I am, and that's really where most of the pressure comes from. And if anything, it's a pretty cool spot to be in, and yeah, I just try to, you know, enjoy it really more than anything.
I love to hear that. Now, alongside you, of course, is the actual 2 years ago, he set the world record here with 8:00:67. So, Josh, you missed last year with sickness. How are you feeling looking at this race? Ray Flynn has put together this tremendous field, as Grant also alluded to. You didn't have a warm-up race. You prefer to come in relatively cold, so to speak.
Yeah, I think you know, all of us are professionals. We know what we're doing, and I feel like this year was, you know, for me, I normally open up at the Milrose Games. It's a regular year for me. So yeah, just excited to put myself up against some of the best, you know, in the world, and again in that 2 mile. So, you know, as soon as, you know, Ray told me it was a 2 mile, I was like, fuck, okay, well, I'm running the 2 mile.
You didn't hear that.
So sorry.
You're in New York, don't worry, you hear it every corner here.
For goodness sake. And so, yeah, exactly, you know, and then you look at that field that comes together and you're like, you know, what an unbelievable opportunity to go out and show the hard work that I've put together, and the person that's going to win this race this weekend is, you know, is a dog. So I'm looking for that title myself.
And chances are the pace is going to be set for sub 8 minutes, which will be a world record. You don't want to lose that world record now, do you,
It'd
John?
be quite rude, yes. But yeah, I mean, you know, 8 flat back 2 years ago felt really quick. I don't know about you, Grant, but it did. But I mean, now it's like almost an afterthought, especially how fast he's got around last year. So yeah, I think sub 8 is definitely on the cards, and I think it's going to be a race to get it. So it's going to be definitely one to watch.
Great. Well, thanks very much, Josh, Cole, Donovan, and Grant. You can leave the stage and relax, because sooner rather than later, a batch of people will come and ask you even more deeper questions. It now gives me pleasure to hand the microphone over to my colleague, Taylor Masetta, who will take you through the next group.
Thank you, Ian. Hi, everyone. Now we are welcoming the sprinters and the field events up. So Cordell, Devin, Dina, and Joe. All right, so welcome back, everyone. Excited to see everyone here at the Milrose Games this weekend. Cordell, I'm going to start with you. So this was one of your first races of the year last year. Flash forward a couple months, and you're the world champion in the 110-meter hurdles. How does it feel to come into this year's games with that big-time accolade on your resume?
Honestly, this was the race last year for me that really set up the entire season. I think we had one of our best reactions and starts of the entire year, and it was the start that, you know, Nike said, my agency said, my family said, we need to replicate that start if we want to accomplish what we want to at Worlds. So that was the goal the entire year, was get back to how we got out of the blocks at Millrose, and we'll be able to do what we did.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were second here last year. What do you think it'll take to take the win this year in 2026?
I mean, if we had 5 more hurdles, I'd be a lot more confident. It's just the way I run the hurdle race. You know, the first 5, you know, I typically hang in there, and it's the last 5 that are my best. So I don't really look at any indoor races of I need to win them. It's more of I need to make sure I feel certain things, because I'm a 110 hurdler. I'm not a 60 hurdler. So we will go out, make sure we feel good things, have our training pay off, and we'll see how Sunday goes.
Yeah, well, we're excited to see how it goes on Sunday. All right, Joe, I'm going to move on to you. Welcome back to the Milrose Games. So we're back here in the arena for the shot put competition. You said this year you're really locking in on the indoor season. You typically only focus on outdoor, but this year you're really just focusing on these indoor competitions. How does the Milrose Games set you up for the rest of the winter?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've done Millrose a bunch of times in the past, and I wouldn't say I took it lightly in any means, but I've never really done indoors. This is my 14th year as a pro, which is weird to say, and I've never gone to Europe and thrown the steel ball inside the nets. I've never done an indoor season. So I'm setting it up to be the first time to do it just because I kind of want to do it. So that means I kind of have to be a little bit more ready than I've had in the past. So coming into this meet, I've always loved coming here, the history behind it. Obviously, this is my sponsors of Nike, USATF Foundation, and being an NYAC member, I get to say thank you while I'm here, which is a big thing for me, just to say thank you to start my season. But I'm kind of excited to see where I can go from this meet. sometimes I come here, I'm more just excited to start the season. Now I kind of have, there's a little bit bar in my head where I need to be and where I need to be in the next couple of weeks if I want to keep on progressing and actually have an indoor season.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a great place to start. It's right on the infield, so everyone's going to be able to watch the competition, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, for sure. I never get scared, but yeah, the shots aren't going to hurt the track. I promise you guys that. Yeah, we're the only country in the world that throws the plastic balls, so everybody else throws a steel ball, which I hate, but I promise it won't hurt the track. So we'll just leave a couple chalk marks, but we won't leave any divots.
A lasting mark on you guys. Moving on to the ladies. Hi, Devin. Set the 60-meter hurdle world record here a couple years ago. So you recently said on your Instagram you've one of the only female hurdles in the world to make 5 consecutive global finals at the World Championships. You know anything can happen in the hurdles. So how do you keep that level of consistency up year after year?
I think when it comes to me, it's just a mindset thing. For some reason, I get into like a championship mode, and I'm just like, this is what you've been preparing for all season, and I just kind of don't let myself get to the point where I feel like I've wasted it. But it's kind of like a bittersweet thing. So even though no one has done it, made 5 consecutive finals, it's still like I haven't come away with a medal as yet outdoor, and so still chasing that, still trying to replicate my success from indoor and have that transfer to the 100 hurdles.
Yeah, absolutely. You've left a lasting mark on the Milrose Games. What does it mean to you to start out your season again here this year?
It's great. It's always an amazing atmosphere and always an amazing field that's assembled. And so it's good to get that sort of high-level competition in early. It sets up the rest of the indoor season pretty good just to get that almost championship feel early.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dina, you're making a big return to the indoor season this year. You ran your first indoor 60-meter race just last week in 3 years. How does it feel to come back, come to New York City, and race indoors?
Firstly, good morning. Hi, I hope everybody's good and survived the cold. But yeah, I'm really excited. I've been having fun running the 60. I haven't done it for so long, and I don't, even when I did it like a few years ago, it was kind of like a dip in, do a few races, then go back to training. So it's been fun to just kind of set this out and have something where I'm going to be progressing meet on meet, hopefully throughout the season and perhaps into the World Indoors. So it's been fun.
Yeah, no, it's been fun to watch you, and I believe this is your Milrose Games debut.
Yeah, I've been hoping to run it a few times and had some last-minute curveballs, injuries and whatnot, so I'm just really excited to be here. I don't think I've ever raced in New York. I've never done Millrose. Everybody clearly says how incredible it is, and I'm very excited to be lining up on Sunday.
We're excited to see you line up on Sunday. Thank you all. And I'm going to hand it back to Ian for the last group. Thank you, guys.
Jared, Hobbs, and Jessica, please. As you can see, there's one empty chair. Elisa Puriak will be racing, but she's not here today. She's dealing with a family matter with her father. So I'm sure you join me in wishing her and her family well as they deal with this. But to the best of my knowledge, I just spoke with Ray Flynn, she will be racing 2 days' time. I have to get confused, like I was talking to Dina earlier, and she just made it this morning because she thought it was tomorrow, which happened to Gabby Thomas a couple of years ago. So hasty calls with agents, into the shower quick and making a quick run here. So this is the life of an athlete. I'm going to open with you. I always refer to you as Jessica, but I understand you're perfectly comfortable with Jess.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
But your mother would always call you Jessica.
She does, yeah.
Yes, I understand that. So, World Cross, how exciting was that to win for Australia? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Yeah, it was an incredible way to start the year. I think it's strange to stand on the start line of a World Championships on the 10th of January. So I think once we kind of got past that, it was just all business and really exciting to put the green and gold on and run for your country really early in the year.
And then you raced in Boston last week, and that was a bit of an adjustment really coming from cross country, but I'm thinking you're ready for this one.
Yeah, I mean, everything in training suggests I'm really ready. I had an off day last weekend, but...
You call it an off day, is that how you term it?
Yeah, I think we're human, so sometimes it happens, but everything in training, everything in my prep suggests I'm ready to run fast and to really make the most of opportunities this indoor season.
you know, I should ask David Monty this. David would know. Hasn't an Australian athlete ever won the women's Wanamaker mile? No.
I think we talked about this last year too.
Do we? How soon we forget. It's the cold weather, Jessica. So you'd love to be the first Aussie?
Oh, I would love to be. I think it's huge it's on people's radar in Australia, especially at the moment. Cam Myers is running so well as well, so I think there's definitely an Aussie winner in the near future, and yeah, hopefully it comes
Maybe
on
in 2
Sunday.
days.
Hopefully.
Lovely. Okay, well, these two gentlemen will be side by side. Last year at the finish, it was Jared and Mr. Kessler here. He looked up at me and he went, because he was that close. So Hobbs, let me start with you. Tremendous performance last week, world record. Must give you a lot of confidence coming into face another tremendous field in the Wanamaker mile.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it feels good just get some momentum going. I was pretty bummed with how I ran last summer. It just felt like nothing.
Glad you used that word carefully there, because you know that Mr. Kerr, he used an expletive, but you said bummed, so that's okay. We're good.
But no, I just get some momentum going, so it was really exciting, but I'm kind of trying to forget about last week, focus on this week. Yard and I have a bitter rivalry going, so.
Oh, bitter rivalry?
Yeah,
oh.
So maybe I can take him down, we'll see. So far, no luck, but.
How hard is it to come off such a great race as last week and you know, just come down emotionally? Because obviously it's high, people want to talk to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's something Nick Willis taught me when I was in high school. He's like, especially with rounds, he's like, once you cross the finish line, enjoy it for 5-10 minutes, and then you kind of got to forget about it, get back to an emotional baseline and focus on the next race or whatever else you have going on. So yeah, it was really fun, but I tried to kind of come back down to zero and focus on this week because, you know, it's still January. So.
And after a race like that again, do you sleep well like a top, or do you find difficulty sleeping? I'm always intrigued by how athletes respond to such a great achievement.
Well, I don't drink coffee, and I had
we've got coffee here for you.
Oh, no, thank you. But I had a caffeine gel with 200 milligrams of caffeine, so that I was wired all night. It was brutal. So I don't know how much was the excitement versus the caffeine, but yeah, I definitely took a while to fall asleep. My dad and I just watched Gold Rush for it was 3 a.m. and then went to bed.
Gold Rush, should I know that? I guess I should.
It's a classic hotel TV show.
Oh, okay.
It's always on.
I'm
Any
out of
hotel
that
ever.
Okay, well done, Hobbs. Jared, 3 successive wins. World record last year. Maybe only lasted a day or so, but it's a world record, right, my friend?
Yeah, that's right, it was.
And as you come into this, the pressure's on, I guess, is it? To go 4 in a row, knowing he's sitting right by you and he's likely to be, like you, trying to get behind the pacemaker early.
No, yeah, I mean, I think honestly every year after my first win, it's felt like there's been, you know, a decent amount of pressure to come back, perform again, and do well. And in years past, I was really gunning for that world record, and I think, once I got it, it was kind of just all right, cool. I think maybe there'll be less pressure next year. And I lost it 6 days later. But even now, I think, I'm never gonna be one to underestimate Hobbs. I feel like he's always been right there with me at Millrose, and I feel like it's gonna be, a really exciting race, and maybe not world record, honestly, but if I'm being completely honest. But I still think it's gonna be a really, really quick one, and I think, me and Hobbs are gonna have some fun with it. So.
Now, you're another one that doesn't race prior to something like Millrose. Is there a reason for that?
Not specifically a reason. I think Millrose just feels kind of early in the indoor season, especially this year with the Worlds being in late March. But I think it's always a race that I want to come to, and always a race I want to show out in. And we don't feel like there's a lot of time other than the week before Millrose essentially to really get another race in. So it's always kind of a surprise. I don't know exactly how fit I'm going to be or how good I'm going to be because I haven't raced yet. But my workouts have been going well, my training's been going well, so it should be fun.
And the cold outside, will you warm up indoors at the Armory, or will you be outside? Josh Kerr is definitely not going outside. Actually, he might, because he's from Scotland. He wouldn't have a... No. I like to interplay with you guys.
Well, I think I'll probably still go outside. I mean, we've been training in Scottsdale, but I think, running inside just feels so much worse. So as long as my bag gets here with all my clothes, I will be running outdoors probably.
Oh, it hasn't arrived yet?
No, not yet, but hopefully this morning.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
It's okay, it happens.
See, just take everything in their stride, don't they just? Okay, thank you gentlemen, thank you Jessica. We'll now release you to the hounds, as they say, the media hounds, who will come and talk to you. We'll get a group photo of all the athletes, just come together. The quintessential New York City photo op.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that's 30 seconds of fame in New York. We're now going to adjust, Jonathan will join me, we'll adjust this seating, and we've got a special gift for you. Look at this. It's not a Wheatie, but it's close.